Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. My name's Leanne, I'm a yoga and Pilates teacher, and I'm going to take you through today a core workout through Pilates where we're going to work the core in lots of different ways to get you a good burning sensation, have it work together as a unit to help train it to protect the back. There's going to be a few arm exercises in there as well. Let's get started. Starting with some cat-cow. So check in with our spine, our back, see how it feels today, this week. Spine to sky. In the cat, exhale, inhale in the cow. Taking your time moving from one motion to the other. You might feel stiff at first. As you begin to mobilise, lean a little bit further into it. If you drive a lot or have a desk job, you do a lot of cat, maybe take more time in the cow. Good, and extend our right leg, distributing the weight evenly over the left and the right side. Our left arm is out, we're just going to pulse, making sure you've got core engagement. So having a poke underneath your belly button, making sure there's tension there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Over to the other side. Going for another 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Into child's pose, knees together, arms out extended, circling the wrists off. Good, same again, but left leg this time is going to stay extended. Have a look back, make sure it is hip height. And we're going to extend our right arm and swim backwards, keeping it up shoulder height, all the way down and all the way up for a total of 8. Deep breath, exhale as the arm comes down, inhale as it rises above. Another 2, one more. We're keeping our leg up, bringing our arms down by our side. Forearm taps, just learnt that these are called. Elbows stay tucked in, coming all the way down to the floor and back up. You're isolating the tricep here, whilst that leg is staying up. And you dip in. Don't worry if you can't get your elbow all the way to the floor. Another 2, one more. Good. Over to the other side. Extending the right leg, left arm swims back. Inhale as you rise for 8. Keep that core engaged. Try and feel that core engagement. Good. Another 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. That right leg stays up for forearm taps. Looking for 8 to 10. You're coming down onto the heel of your hand. Good. Inhale, rise. Exhale, coming down to the mat. Couple more. Good. Child's pose. Knees nice and wide. Feet together to get in the inner groin stretch. As wide as you can with your knees so you feel that stretch when you're coming down. Circle off the wrists just to circle off any tension. Good. Coming back into the tabletop position. If you're starting to feel it on your wrist, feel free to go into fists, or you can move your hands a little bit further forward than your shoulder, just to stop it from clamping down till you get used to it. This time, Left leg comes out to small circles. Again, don't place all your weight into that supporting leg. Try and bring it over to the other side as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to bring our knee up to our rib on that side and down. Trying to keep the leg as high as you can, and you're looking at that knee on that side. So core work. As many as you can, or 8. Another 4. Try and keep that leg up. 3, 2. You can dot in and out of these as much as you need to. 1 more. Good. Leg stays up. You can rest if you want, or you can go into forearm taps with that leg staying up. For another 8 to 10. Hopefully you're feeling a burn in that bum cheek that's supporting you on the other side. Any burning's good. Thanks. Another 3 if you can. 2, keep the elbows tucked in. Good. Over to the other side, last set. So we're going to start with those small circles. Good. Trying to feel warmth above that hip on the right side. Another 5, 4, 2, 1. The knee comes up to your rib cage and you're looking at that knee for 8, 2, 6, another 2. Good. Nice and wide. Child's pose. Circle it off with your wrists. And just before we move on, I forgot about the push-ups. So the right leg is extended. We're coming down with them forearm taps for 10, just to finish that set off. Two more. Good. Feel free to grab a drink. We're going to move over to the sides of our stomach and start working on deep back muscles that keep you upright and the sides of the core, the obliques. So we're going to start with side planks. So make sure your elbow's directly under your shoulder. This is a shoulder strengthening stability exercise for the whole shoulder girdle. So if it's burning, stop, shake off, then back into it. You are strengthening it. Because we've done a bit on the anterior, the front of the shoulder, you might feel it. Make sure you're pushing your hips forward so you're all in one line. Coming all the way up for a squeeze, a little bit higher than parallel so you can get in a curve there and down again. I'm going to shoot our arm over our head for a nice stretch on the lats underneath the armpit on the other side. Good. Pause at the top for a squeeze in the ab, let it burn, ache, pinch. Good. Coming all the way down. Feeling that in the shoulder. Let it burn. Another 5 if you can. 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Release or hold. Squeeze the sides of your stomach, deep breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Bottom knee comes forward, top knee back. We get very tight around our hip and pelvis, especially after children. So we're going to stretch that off now. It's nice and warm on that side. So front knee is forward that you've just worked on the same side. Inhale, rise. And exhale, we move over. And pushing your hip down into the floor. And opening up and feeling that stretch on that side. Just try and relax in this stretch and let go. And lean. Knee down. 1 more deep breath. The exhale should bring you in closer to the stretch. Good. You can shake off that arm. I'm going to do that again. So 10 to 12 hip dips with a reach. 1. Good. Coming all the way down. A little bit higher than parallel. 2. 7. Oh, the burn. 8. 9. Another 2 if you can. You can either release or hold. 1 more big deep breath. Good. Bottom knee forward, top knee back. Inhale to rise. Let's see if we can go a little bit further over. Hopefully you feel a little bit of give now as we increase flexibility on that side, making you less stiff as time goes on. Shoulders down. Good. Over to the other side. Let's see how we get on. If it feels just the same, or you struggle more or less. I think this is my stronger side. Pushing the hips forward when you're ready. Going for a reach. Going for 12 or as many as you can. This is your starting point if you've not done these before. 3. Good. 6. You're strengthening your neck as well, those muscles that support your neck left and right. Another 3, 2, 1. Option hold or release. 2 more deep breaths. Bottom knee forward, stretch it out. Yeah, so your arm is up obviously for the stretch to increase it, but also to add weight to move you over to that side. Just relaxing your neck. Good. Last time. Looking for another 12 if you can. Nearly there. And hold or release. 2 deep breaths. And release. Well done. Knee forward. Let's see if we can get a little bit further over now. Hands should ideally be over your head. Good. Inhale as we come back down. Feel free to grab a drink. Okay. I'm going to come into the box position. So rib cage tucked in, belly button into spine. You've got tension in the core. Bring your hands a little bit further forward if you feel it in your wrist. And you can lift those knees off the floor for 2 deep breaths, squeezing, so tucking your tailbone under so you're engaging that lower core. 1 more deep breath, and then release, coming back down into child's pose. Inhale out, again tucking the toes under the heels. Bring the knees off, tucking your tailbone under, engaging the core, rib cage in, deep breath. One more deep breath. You feel this on your quads, your thighs as well. Exhale, coming down into child's pose. Last time, switch the core on, tucking your tailbone under, lift your knees. Even if you can just do one deep breath. One more. Send your hips back to the sky for down dog. We're going to stretch out them calves. If we've been getting a lot of steps in, they're going to get quite tight. Deep breaths. Send your hips up to the sky. And this is arm strengthening as well. As we continue to work the shoulder girdle, and because we're straightening our arm, the back of the arm, the triceps are being worked. More bend in the knee, less pressure on the back and the hamstrings. Good, and coming down. Making our way over to semi-supine position. Coming down one vertebrae at a time. Okay, core engagement. So you can, the next exercises you can just do using your limbs and not really switching the core on that much, but we're actively engaging the core. So to learn it, first we're going to start by doing pelvic tilts, which are always good for you, even if you're advanced. So tilting the pelvis forwards, so you've got a curve in your lower back, so you can get your hand underneath it. That's one part of the tilt. And then you're flattening that curve. But whilst you're doing this forwards and backwards movement, you want to make sure you've got core engagement. So have a poke around below your belly button. And as you're rocking forwards and backwards, which is really good for mobilizing and getting blood flow around the pelvis and lower back, etc., you're keeping tension in the core. There's always one part of the pelvis that's on the floor, so you're not lifting your hips up or anything like that. So get used to how it feels. Is it a lot of tension? Is it a little? And eventually, rib cage stays tucked in, by the way, belly button into spine. And eventually you should start to feel a very deep ache. It's your TVA, your transverse abdominis that we're working. It's your deepest core muscle. It acts like a corset, keeps everything tucked in, looks after you, keeps your organs in. It works with the back as well and assists in breathing, etc. But it's often underworked and forgotten about. Are you shaking? Do you feel a deep ache yet? Let's go for another 10. If you're struggling with not knowing if you're connecting or not, if it's not really burning in the lower core, try lifting your hips off the floor, but not really lifting the hips up, so like engaging the muscles that you would need to do it, and pause at the top for a squeeze with the abs braced. 3, 2 more, 1 more. This is a really good one if you're strength training or you want to, if you've got backache and you're not sure if your core's engaging properly. It's a really good one, it's a gentle one as well. Inhale, arms rise, over the head, big stretch, and slowly exhale. 1 more. Back into pelvic tilts. Another 20 to 30, it works well with high reps. So opening and closing that gap in the lower back whilst keeping tension. So even when you're bringing the curve in your lower back and you're exaggerating it, you make sure you've got tension, you're not losing it, because it's very common to engage on one part of the tilt and not the other. And remember about lifting the hips up, but not lifting the hips up, using that mind-muscle connection. Do you feel a burn yet? If you are, then it's working and you're doing it correctly. You can keep your fingers on your stomach to make sure you're not losing tension at all until you learn how it feels when your core's engaged. That helps build mind-muscle connection as well. Another 5, 3, 2 more. The role of the core is to protect the back. Good, another 2 deep breaths in. One more. Good. I'm going to work the lower core again, try and switch on, try and get a bit of fatigue in there so then you know what it feels like when it's burning. So arms by your side, and you want to build a bit of momentum and bring your hips up off the floor. If you can't get your hips off the floor yet, don't worry about it, just engage the muscles that are needed and then eventually you'll get strong enough to bring them off your floor. Going for a total of 20. If you can only do 10, rest, wait for the burning to subside and do another 5 and then rest. Failure is good, it means you're getting stronger. You're giving your body a reason to get stronger and adapt. If you stop before it burns, then you're not going to do much. 10, 9, 8. Where you're feeling this, that's where it's working. 6, 5. Trying to come up and down 1 vertebrae at a time with a curve in the lower back. 2 more. 1 more. These are tough. They get that core engagement though. They're one of my favourites now. Inhale, arms rise. Pause at the top with full lungs and slowly exhale. Again. Promoting deep breath work helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, getting you out of stress responses. Legs up again in tabletop for more hip kicks, maximum 20 or as many as you can. Really squeeze that core as hard as you can. Good. Excellent. So make sure like you're not kicking up to the ceiling at all. You're leading with the hips, okay? Just make sure it's your hips that are doing your work. The legs are just here for the ride. Burning. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2. Oh, 1 more. I'm a whingy bitch. Inhale, arms rise. You should have heard me getting PT'd once. I've never dropped so many F-bombs in my life. Inhale. Good. This is another good one. Knees up in bent knee tabletop. So arms supporting your neck behind. Rib cage tucked in, belly button to spine. So you should, after all of that, feel this as a core work as it is. It's like a plank, you're holding that tension in your core. Flatten your back against the mat so you can't get your hand underneath that curve. Your core is doing that for you. As you're coming up, hips off the floor and down. Up, squeeze. We'll go for a count of 2 squeeze, your own count. 2. With that crunch. Oh. Just gonna go for 12, 6, 7, 8. Try not to let the lower back lose contact with the floor. So you're keeping the knees as close to the core as you can. Oh my God, last 2. Oh, I'm on the egg. Inhale, arms rise. One more. I'm going to do that once more. Going for 10 to 12. If you think it's too difficult at this point to pause for a squeeze, that's absolutely fine. Just get the reps in. Notice where it's burning. This is where you're toning. Remember, keeping that lower back in contact with the mat at all times. Don't bring your knees too far away from your body, you might lose it. Another 6 if you can. Working through, ignoring that burn. Last 2. Ow. Inhale. It's about being comfortable in the uncomfortable. One more inhale. This next one is a prep for the next one after this. Window wiper wobbles, I'm calling them, because it's funny. So knees up in a tabletop, but you've got a slight angle there, and you're coming over to the left and the right, and you'll feel a little stretch. Your hips coming up off one side as you're leaning over to the other, that's fine. Keeping tension in the core, keeping that rib cage tucked in as you breathe in. Notice where you're feeling it. You can bring your knees up closer to your belly button, or you can bring them down a little bit more to add more length and weight to your spine and for that stretch, and to work and tone that lower core. So take your time with this one. Another 5, 4. So if you started off on this one, you probably wouldn't feel that much. You'd just feel a lower back stretch, which is nice. But because we've already fatigued it, we're getting all the benefits. One more. Good, inhale. Good, arms out by your side. So you can do that one again, or you can do window wipers, where your legs are coming almost straight, and then knees come up and over to the other side. It's a nice stretch, like a spinal twist. Just take your time with it, quality over quantity. If we can get a total of 10 with this one, the slower you do it, tension in the muscle for longer, more gains in strength and tone. If you eat your protein, you're over 100 grams a day. Another 5, 4. Option to straighten them legs on the other side when you're touching the floor. You get a nice stretch above the hip. One more. God, their legs feel heavy. Good. Semi-supine. Deep breaths. Inhale to recover. Now, because our abs are fatigued, again, another one that you probably wouldn't feel the benefit if we started off with this one. So we're going to take advantage of that core connection. So arms resting by your side, flatten that curve in your back by that tilt of the pelvis, rib cage tucked in, belly button into spine, have a poke, you've got tension. Leg rises, and you're just going to do small circles, keeping that tension like a plank. Notice how that feels. If we started off with this, you probably wouldn't notice that much of a difference. But again, if you want to connect to that lower core, think about lifting that right hip with the leg that's doing the circles, that side hip off the floor ever so slightly. Squeezing the core as hard as you can. Like someone's punching you in the stomach. 5, 4, where's it burning? 3, 2, 1, release. Over to the other side. Relax your abs. Wait for the burning to subside. Extending the other leg. Making sure you're not rocking left and right as you're doing the circles. Think about lifting that hip on that side to get the leg up. Your back's completely flat. Good. Three, 2, 1, release. Felt that more in my mid to upper core with that exercise. Inhale, arms rise. pause with full lungs for slowly exhaling, count of 4. Again. Good. Legs are out at an angled tabletop and in for a pulse. Keeping the connection in your back to the mat. It's a small pulse. Stay here, or if you want to make it harder, bring in the upper crunch, upper core. Otherwise, just do as many as you can. We've already fatigued the abs, so anything now is a bonus. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, God, well done. Inhale. I'm going to get the obliques back into it, into the party. Hands behind head to support the neck. I can't even speak anymore. Right elbow to left knee for bicycles, but coming up and right over, lifting the hip off the floor. Crisscross. As many as you can, or 20. So the more you reach over to the opposite side, the more the sides of the stomach, the obliques are worked. 10, 9, good, taking your time. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3. You can hear you all collapse. Inhale, arms rise. One more. I'm going to do that once more. Looking for 20 or as many as you can. Don't worry about if you can't get the 20. Seven. Rest as much as you need to. 8. Last 5. 2. Well done. Inhale. Again, this is another one that you may not feel the difference with before you've fatigued the abs, because that mind muscle connection comes with conditioned abs and practice. But because you're fatigued, let's see if you can feel the benefits of straight leg tabletop. Rib cage in, belly button into spine, arms resting by your side. Holding that tension in your abs. So check, make sure your back's flat. Try lifting your hips if you're not sure if you've got that connection. And you should start to burn. Deep breaths. Where you're feeling it. 2 more deep breaths, then we'll release. Good, well done. Inhale. Last core exercise, good for the hamstrings, strengthens the biceps as well. Scissors, Pilates scissors. So you're pulling in one knee to your nose, you're swapping over with straight legs and feeling the hamstring stretch, coming up and down as you're swapping legs. Take your time when you're doing the switch over because there's tension in your lower core there that you're toning. Looking for 15. Using the weight of your legs to tone that lower core. I've definitely started working my lower core today, it's cramping. 5, 4, 2 more. Good, well done. Apanasana, bringing the knees in for a hug and roll. side to side as we begin relaxation and some stretch work. I'm going to stretch our legs right out, away, the arms and legs away from the centre of the body, like you've just got out of bed, a big stretch. Well done. That was tough, that was advanced. So well done. I'm sorry, Julie, this was your first class back. I'm going to bring our knees in, toes together, and just bringing our knees out to the side to stretch the inner groin. Just be aware of any tension on one side more than the other. Do you feel that stretch? It's more uncomfortable. You can put, if you do this at home as well, you can put blocks or a cushion under either side of your knee so you're able to relax more. Or you can put your fists underneath the upper part of your thigh. You're just trying to relax and switch the muscles off around the pelvis. Deep breaths. Notice a neutral curve in your lower back now. And to bring the left knee over to the right knee for spinal twist, looking over the opposite side as we settle in to spinal twist. So like I've said, I know clients and myself, especially like at night when I do yoga and things, it can take up to 6 minutes in this position to finally let go of the tension and the stiffness. So it does take time. It's your job to notice the tension and use your deep breath. So inhale, pushing your belly out. We'll bring you out the stretch slightly or have you feel it a bit more. Then the next exhale as you sink and let go of a little bit more tension. If you want to increase the stretch and add more weight to the lower back, extend that top leg and hold on to it with the arm behind the leg, the thigh. Notice where you feel this stretch as well. Is it just in your lower back? Is it above your hip on the left side? Is it your pec, shoulder? And try and keep both shoulder blades on the mat. Trying to relax the trunk area. Again, the deep breaths will help you sink into it as your body becomes a dead weight. Two more deep breaths. Hopefully you've felt some tension being released there. Let's move over to the other side. So bending both knees. Carefully take your time because you can be a bit stiff swapping over. I know that I am. Over to the other side. Shoulder blades on the mat and settle in. Just being aware of where you feel it on this side. Is it roughly the same? If you want to extend the leg, feel free. See if that foot can touch the floor on the other side. Shoulders relaxed into the mat. Using that deep breath. Inhale, pushing the belly out, and slow exhale, sink further in. See if you can relax a little bit more, a few more muscles. One more deep breath. You might feel this on your glute as well. And moving over to the side that your knees are facing. I'm going to come up and make our way to the pigeon, where we get quite tight in our glutes and settle into the pigeon pose. So we want to be in the center of the mat, legs straight back for the hip flexor stretch, but you should feel this on your front glute, on the front leg glute. Just try and relax. Apparently everybody holds tension and stress in the glutes. As you begin to release tension, you can bring this foot up a little bit more, as long as it's not pulling you out. Just try and stay in the center if you're doing that. And breathe into it. Relax. Stretching's a practice as well. It's like strength training and cardio. It's a skill. But this takes time and patience. Well, it all does really, doesn't it, to be honest? The next inhale, swap over to the other side. Good. Coming over to a seated position, anyone that you find is comfortable for you. As we begin some pranayama relaxation breath work to help you sleep before bed, hopefully, and get you out of any stress responses you may be in. So sitting tall, imagine you've got a golden cord attached to your crown, and it's pulling you up into the sky. So sitting tall, shoulders down away from ears, and untucking the pelvis. You've got the natural curve in your back. Might be uncomfortable at first. Pinning your shoulder blades together, chest proud, but it does get easier. Just tuning in with how our body feels after that. Inhale through the nose and slow exhale through the nose so it's nice and warming. Keep sitting tall. On your inhale, the belly will push out. Then your ribs will rise and then your chest in those stages. And then exhale, your chest will fall, then your ribs, and then your belly empties. Inhale for a count of 4. Pause for your own count of 4. Before slowly exhaling for a count of 4, and then pause again for a count of 4 before inhaling again, as we practice box breathing. The slower you exhale, the more relaxation you'll experience. And every time your mind begins to wander, just bring it back to the breath, the anchor of the mind. That keeps you present in your body. And how your body feels. Are you still sitting tall? Are you breathing in those stages? This is a practice. And just to repeat as well what I said last week, some people think to de-stress and calm down they need to do a full yoga or Pilates class or go for a massage, when in fact it might be as simple as hand on your chest, your heart, and having 10 deep breaths. Every inhale, I want you to think about all of the good that you've done this week, anything that you've improved on, anything that you've learned, anyone that you've helped, any value you've brought. And on the exhale, I want you to push away anything that's annoyed you this week or bothered you, that was negative. And imagine yourself moving further away from it.